It's Bad Brad. What's happening, y'all? I just washed my wig. It is looking fly today. How's everybody doing? As we always, we start off a little light in but everybody files in. We have a heck of a party here. And man, we got a lot to talk about. Yes, indeed. How's everybody doing? If you're just now tuning in, you'll see the chat on the right-hand side. And please chat in there if you have any questions or anything you want to ask or any points you want to make or anything you want us to talk about today. Today is all about you. And man, I have so much fun on these live events here on YouTube. It is just an absolutely epic time. Dude, Corinne's dude, morning, Amos. How you doing, brother? Amos, glad to have you here. Oh man, I needed that beverage. I've been went for a long walk this morning and able to do a little walk and talk, so that'll air probably on Monday. Dude, Freddie, let's do this. Woo! Woo! Let's get fired up. Let's have some damn fun. We're in the green room now, gentlemen. Woo! He's got his alligators. Joey, what's happening? Got them gators. And them gators be snapping, bro. They're snapping. Woo! Man, how's everybody doing? Afternoon, Cece. Woo! Sorry, Ric Flair, but man, I was watching the McMahon thing on Netflix with all the wrestlers. I want to listen to Snarlin' Darlin'. All right, K-Mex Experience. I remember Snarlin' Darlin'. I am a weird cat, Freddie. Yes, I am an absolutely strange and bizarre creature from another planet. And man, but I have a good time, man, and I have a good time hanging out. But dude, Freddie, so if y'all haven't seen, I did a video, it was like the ultimate secret to success or something like that. And I'm telling you where I got my wig and where you can get one just like it. Because look, Halloween is, Bo, how you doing? Halloween is coming right around the corner, and I expect to see some Bad Brad costumes out there. That would be awesome. It'd be, most of you probably, we are all weird cats right here. Yes, CC, and proudly so. Yes, indeed. And some of us are strange dogs. But we are here to howl and woo together. Woo! Yes, we are. The funeral parade. Man, I tell you what, dude, I'm always just elated to see all the familiar names. And I try to put, faces, and sometimes, people say, oh, my name's such and such and this. And I try to remember everybody, and man, I'm thankful to everybody that just tunes in. This has been like the greatest thing to be able to transition from, beating it up in Nashville to, doing this on YouTube has really made the transition for me coming down to Florida and not having all my musician friends in my gigs. Now I had one of my friends that I play with, used to play with almost every weekend. He said, man, I did a gig. I said, we missed you, in capital letters. Ben, how you doing? And I was like, yeah, I miss you guys too. But it's like, I don't miss. My thing is, I don't know, you guys let me know if you had the same. Thank you, funeral. Yes, we're kicking butt, dude. We are doing it together. I used to get that pre-gig anxiety, especially driving to the gig. It's just, I've never been the most relaxed driver, but something about going to a gig and you usually having to use directions. Thank you. Yes, I am, CC, and I'm having a good time, man. And thank you, Ben. Yes, we have reached 7K. We're now on our way to 10K. Now, whether that's slow or fast is yet to be seen. Corinzan, all right, congratulations. Welcome to Blues King. That makes you able to see all the videos, all the members' videos. Some of them get released out into the public. I mean, thank you, Herb, getting around with the bedhead from last night's gig. Yes. If you played a gig, man, you know about the bedhead. But I tell you what, dude, the bedhead, the tour bus bedhead. Now that is epic, man. I'm gonna have to pull out some of my old road photos. And man, what I would do is I wouldn't comb my hair. I wouldn't do anything. And my hair, it grew super long, and I had this beard, and I would dye the beard black, and I'd have black hair. And I looked like Blackbeard the pirate or something. And, but man, I would sleep in that bunk, and then the next morning, the hair would be just this mane. And I would go, we would do these TV things in these radio stations, and I'd still be wearing my clothes from the gig. I passed out in my clothes and roll into the studio with the hair all over the place. And I knew damn well that they probably could have smelled me from a foot away because of all the whiskey I was drinking and then falling asleep in your stage clothes. But then the next day around 4 o'clock, I would always go to the hotel and take a shower and then try to take a 20, 30-minute nap and recharge. But I would never comb my hair. So I would just get out of the shower and I'd run the towel through it. Then I'd lay down with a towel on my head. And so the hair just became this wild beast, and so yeah, man, I'm scheduled to get a haircut next week. So that should be interesting. I'm thinking I need to take the camera to the towel on the pillow, Freddie. Yeah, that's my weird thing, man. That towel, because man, you get in some of those hotel rooms, man, you can't do number 2 on the bus. Exactly. You guys are ready to go on the road now. You've got my badbrad Road 101. Thank goodness. I just showed my friend an 80s pictures of crimped crazy hair I had. He loves all things 80s, so he's good with that. I am horrified, however. Yes, I used to love the crimped hair. I used to love the ringlet curls, too. Ringlet curls. It's not even long enough for a cut. Yeah, I know. Corinzan, I agree. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in and I'm going to tell them not to take any of the length off, but I'm going to have them kind of thin it out just a little bit, so it doesn't weigh as much. But yeah, it's not like super long or anything. But man, dude, when you get 10 wig comments, a day, you start to get a little bit paranoid about your hair. The wig will get you the gig. The wig will get you the gig. Dude. Acid wash jeans. Ben. So Ben says he loves everything about the 80s except the acid wash jeans. It's funny. So tomorrow, I got Greg Renoff, the writer of Van Halen Rising. I'm airing my exclusive interview with him. It's been a while since he's talked Van Halen, and we talk everything from the beginning of Van Halen, and we get into intense detail and talking about their origin story and all that. And then we touch on at the end, will we hear new Van Halen music anytime soon? So it is an over an hour long interview, man. And I know, these interviews, when I get done with them, I usually know that, man, I just created a friend having this conversation for the last hour. And I know he was because I was popping out. First of all, when I do the research for the interview with Greg Renoff, I saw that his first book that he wrote was on the circus, and the circus specifically in Georgia from like 1830 to like 1912 or something like that. So he's a historian. And I said, dude, some people might think, oh, why is he writing about the circus? But if you want to know about the topsy-turvy world of a touring rock band, then learning about the circus is probably the greatest preparation that you could possibly have for the Van Halen story. That was a traveling circus. What do you think? When you went to see Van Halen, man, you went to see a spectacle. When you went to see the circus, you saw a spectacle. You had carnival barkers. David Lee Roth was one of the greatest carnival barkers that ever was. Dude, David Lee Roth was the old school. It makes perfect sense. And I was like, man, and I said, I'm going to, you need to when you interview somebody, you need to let them know that you took the time to know a little bit about them. You didn't just show up and ask the same questions and not know, about things. And to be able to, we talked about Eddie Van Halen and his Variac. And he told me a really cool story about, here's the thing, man, on the Strip, if you were doing anything cool, man, somebody was going to steal it. What up beyond belief? So Ed had a way that he hid his Variac behind the amp. And, and I told Greg, I said, the whole time I was on the Strip, and this is already in the Van Hagar era, and we were still trying to figure out how Ed was getting his sound and how we could get a sound like that. And, it's just, and we made the case in that hour-long episode of how Van Halen was the true, father of that whole Sunset Strip scene. What's happening? Steve Stevens is here. Yes, DLR was doing Jim Dandy, but he was also doing W.C. Fields, and he was also doing Milton Berle, and he was also doing Al Jolson. He was also doing, what was the guy? Louis Prima. He was this mishmash of all these things. And a little bit of Jim Morrison, with the poetry kind of. Some of Ross' lyrics were more like Sammy Davis, exactly. Roth, Van Halen was just, everything to me as far as, that era and leading up to that era. And man, we get into so much detail, and I could tell at the end of the interview that he had such a good time. And because I was throwing out zingers. I was throwing out zingers about, vaudeville, Joey, yes. I was throwing out zingers about Roth calling Eddie's house Howdy Doody Mountain and all these, bizarre little references and stuff like that. And man, he was like, oh, about the Howdy Doody Mountain. I've probably watched every interview David Lee Roth ever gave, in front of a microphone, probably at least 4 or 5 times. I study guys like that. I understand like the incredible ability of promotion and being that, whether it's Muhammad Ali or David Lee Roth. I'm a fan, eh? Exactly. But man, that interview airs tomorrow at 8 a.m. And then the following week after that, I interviewed my old roommate in Hollywood, John Billings. He's an incredible bass player. He played a gig. He did a little tour in Japan where he played bass for Michelangelo Badio, Joey Tafola, Kurt James, Vinnie Moore, and Mitch Perry. 5 of the most huge shred guys, like almost underground shred guys in LA at that time. And so we get into that. We get into his time playing with Sunset Strip band Lancia. And man, that is a great interview too. Bill Hader does a great Van Halen Brothers impersonation. Yes, he does. beyond, man. And what's that? Craig Gass or Glass or something like that. He does a really good one too. But man, I am thankful so much. Damn, we've got 51 people in here. Let's get those thumbs up. What's happening? No picker smiled as much as Edward. So much charisma. So we talk about that. Not with Greg. We talked about with Greg about the pinup ability, the fact that Dave and Eddie were both pinups. And Dave was the overt sexual, kind of sleazy, like the stripper kind of. And Eddie was the charismatic, smiling, shy, cute boy. There's two different, things. If you think of it from a teen pinup perspective, Dave was the sleazy one with the shirt off and easily available. And Eddie was the introverted one that would draw in women as well. The Dave personality pulls in the crazy ones, and the Eddie personality pulls in the sweet ones, like a leopard and a lion. Exactly. Hi, CB. How you doing? Is everybody doing good? Let's get those thumbs up. I'm trying to get the wig dialed in. We're trying to have a good time here. Will Bad Brad pick a little on a guitar? Sadie Lamp duo, yes. I suppose I could, but it's a little early. Waterloo, taking a break from the bowl. Now I've got the bowl here, and I took a giant pull from my bull. And, but I got to pace myself, man, because, man, I was telling earlier, I did a long, several mile walk. And man, it was hotter than Hades out there today. So I'm a little bit dehydrated. But the good news is the wig is starting to fall into place. We got to get you off that bowl. Try black coffee and butter. Oh my goodness. CB, Dave, the only guy to do a split midair. Here's the thing. Didn't Bret Michaels try to do that in his video? And it looked kind of feeble. And even Shania Twain tried to do a jump split. I don't think anybody ever did that before or after to great aplomb. But Dave was the best at it. And I will attest to all the Van Halen people out there, all the Diamond Dave people. The David Lee Roth, hear about your guitar signal chain when you record for videos, guitar to what, to DAW, etc. Freddie, you know what? I'm gonna stop talking about Van Halen and I'm gonna address your question. So he's wanting to know. He was beyond belief. He was the ultimate showman. So make sure everybody you tune in. I don't know about that funeral. That's quite possible. Iggy was bendy. Yes, he was. And he was bizarre on stage. Yeah, Iggy had his own kind of thing. He was athletic in a different way, in a twisty, bendy, contortionist kind of way. But Freddie wants to know the signal chain. And I'll tell him, man. It's very simple. I use whatever modeler that I want to use. Right now, what I've got plugged in is my Line 6 Pod Express. Okay? And that's plugged in. And I've got a guitar plugged in. Right? So I've got this plugged in. It's plugged into the Pod Express. It's running left and right into my DAW, which is a universal audio twin. And that's running into my Mac Mini. And so when I record guitars, I run Logic. When I record, I use Logic, and I run the signal into Logic and run it stereo, and that's it. And then I just extract the track and sync it up with the video. So a way that I learned to do that, watching like a Rob Chapman instructional, is when you want to mark your track so that you can sync it up, you do a right, and then you'll see those 4 lines. And so you'll see those 4 lines in the waveform, and you match up the audio of the video to the audio of the thing. Then just pull the audio, just a scrape, whatever, it doesn't matter, or whatever. It's just a matter of syncing the two up. Then once you've synced them up, matched where the waveforms are, then you pull the audio completely out of your video source, which for me is just my iPhone, right? And, so that's how I do the playing videos. Everybody wants some, I want some too. Right, something like that. So anyway, check out tomorrow. Tomorrow is the Van Halen Rising interview. You're welcome, Freddie. I mean, sometimes Black Oak, Arkansas, man, I love Tommy Aldridge. So man, beyond Tommy Aldridge, dude. So last night I was doing a little research. I haven't released what's coming, but there's some amazing interviews coming on my channel, and I'm gonna make it a habit when I release interviews. They'll be Sunday morning at 8 a.m. and those interviews will be an hour long, and they will be in depth, and I will try to ask the questions that I think the people out there want to know that haven't been asked a million times, right? So I've got this interview lined up, right? So I started watching Ozzy. I started watching some Ozzy clips, and it was a compilation video of Brad Gillis. Thank you, Beyond. It was a compilation video of Brad Gillis's solos that speak of the devil era of Osborne. And I'm watching Tommy Aldridge, and I'm watching Rudy Sarzo, and I believe, was it Don Airy on keyboards, and Brad Gillis. And they're cutting it to just the solos. So there's a little bit of Ozzy singing, and then, Brad Gillis, dude. I mean, here's the thing, man. Have you ever played a grease bucket tone circuit? I've heard of those. I may have tried one out in the store, but I don't own one. Yeah, Ace, the Brad Gillis compilation thing, holy smokes. First of all, dude, what a friggin' band. Like, dude, Splice, watch that. It's Brad Gillis compilation solos, Ozzy. It is, dude, because you see, the band really, everybody kicks in when those solos, man. And you got Tommy Aldridge back there, he's a beast, dude. The reason why Tommy Aldridge has been doing it so long and still does it, yeah, dude. Gillis is ripping on that. And I will say this, Randy Rhoads was like the originator of what he originated and brought to Ozzy. And it was a little percentage of Eddie Van Halen and some classical, and then the Ozzy, the dark, musical type themes, because playing in front of the stage. I don't think that's the reason, Freddie, but maybe I'll get to ask him sometime soon. Maybe, or maybe it's somebody else. You guys will just have to guess who is coming up on this channel. But man, so Randy Rhoads, a lot of finesse, a lot of sensitivity, but fire to his playing. And but watching the Brad Gillis clips now, there are no Randy Rhoads compilations because there weren't a lot of footage. The guy had such a short amount of time on Earth to lay his claim that there's not a ton of like really fired up live footage. I mean, like the band's been cooking for a few months, and he's on a big stage, and it's a pro shot. So you notice they did all that with Gillis. They did capture the footage. Man, let me tell you something, dude. I would describe Gillis's approach to the Ozzy Osbourne show as more athletic. He strikes me as more of like an athlete. The guy seemed in shape. He's really, dude, he is kicking ass. Excuse my French, but he is ripping. Now, he's not playing the solos note for note like Randy. He's playing it pretty damn close and adding his own spin on it. Man, I think that might, he earned the right to wear spandex. Yes, he did. And man, I couldn't help but think, man, what a lot of pressure. What an intense gig. Go out there, replace a legend. Go out there and play. Those songs were not that easy to play. And especially back then, Ozzy had to have known when Randy died that it's going to be really hard to replace this guy, dude. Night Ranger was great as well. But man, imagine trying to find somebody. Yeah, he ripped with his own flair. He was not scared. That was the thing. Can play that stuff? Yeah, who could play that? Freddie. That was the thing, dude. We were every guitar player across America was trying to play catch up to Eddie Van Halen. And then this Randy Rhoads stuff comes out and we barely get our needle on the record and then the guy's gone. And so Mike's saying that Satch is having a hard time emulating EVH. Well, he can't. Yeah, but here's the difference. So Gillis was very, very young. I mean, not like a baby young at the time he did this, but he had that energy on his side, that youthful energy and the pressure. And obviously, Brad Gillis had played in cover bands, up north in California. Played 4 sets a night, so his chops were ready. He was ready to go. So when you push him out there for that 90-minute set, he just thinks, well, heck, at least I don't have to do 2-3 more sets or 4 more sets. So man, I was just blown away by the musicianship in that band. That is not an easy gig. I don't think it'd be an easy gig now. Yeah, I mean, dude, and then the Night Ranger stuff. But I tell you what, I liked the way Brad Gillis. Is there a solo you have trouble with? Every solo, Robert. Every solo I have trouble with because I don't. Brad, do you ever look into playing in the Don Kelly band when you were in Nashville? Spanky, I never did. I really didn't even know it was a thing. I didn't realize he was the kingmaker until it was too late for me to do that. And country was never my forte, but I think I definitely, when I was younger, as far as energy goes, I think I would have played it a lot like JD Simo or Simo or whatever. I think he had a same kind of frenetic energy that the same way I would have approached that gig. But I didn't know that guy was the kingmaker. Nobody came to me and said, dude, you got to get into the Don Kelly band. Now Don Kelly's not there anymore. It's the Kelly's Heroes or whatever. And that guitar player they have now is great. So I didn't know about it. And frankly, I wasn't there to play country. I still don't know. I know the country songs that I did on the road. Is Marcus King the real deal? Okay, which one is Marcus King? Remind me of this. Who is that? Who's the guy with the short, spiky hair? I plays lead with Colt Ford. The other guy when I was on the gig, is that what you're asking, Ace? Did you meet Eugene Clark? No, the ginger that plays the blues. Oh, yeah. Is he the real deal? He certainly sounds like the real deal. He came from a musical family. Yeah. I mean, what's not real about it? It's real. It's not. I don't know if it's aimed towards me as a marketplace. I don't have any current guys that I'm really like enamored with. I don't know how you guys feel out there as far as playing wise. Marcus King is incredible, but I was listening. So there's a guy on here on YouTube that's figured out all the Holdsworth stuff. And so I was watching him last night and seeing some of these chord voicings, and then he had a segment on his YouTube where it was like guess the Holdsworth line, and it was in the shorts. It wasn't Mancuso. No, there's another guy. He's just an unknown guy, but he's figured it out. Mancuso has his own style with the finger thing. Turingenius. Yeah, that's the guy, Ermit. So he's got shorts where he says, guess the Holdsworth line. And he's playing these Holdsworth lines, and I'm seeing it, and I'm going, dude, there's nothing better than that. I don't, I mean, Mancuso is great, but what compositions has Mancuso written? Some great, yeah. Do I still have a Texplorer? Yes, I do, Spanky McAllister. I don't know that that's in the house. Is that in the house? I don't know that if I have that. Let me see if it's close by. No, I don't have it. I don't know what case it's in and all that. But I do have that. I have a bunch of my stuff that I used on the road, but I did get rid of a lot of it as well. I kept the really important ones, the ones that have my DNA on them. David T. Chastain totally broke down Holdsworth methods in a 5-hour video. My mind was blown. Dude, Max Ostro is incredible too. All of those guys are incredible. But, here's the thing. And it was what I talked about in the Van Halen interview. And this is really important. Figuring out how to combine your virtuosity and still create a great song and a complete package as a band. That is the golden ticket. And Van Halen figured out how to do that. Now, I don't put Eddie Van Halen's playing in the same ability as Holdsworth or Mancuso or any of those guys. He had his own thing that he came up with. But what he did figure out, and it was probably thankful to old Diamond Dave, is that they were able to bring the girls, get the women to their show while still playing cool stuff, by still getting to play. Now, Greg Renoff says in the interview, he says, man, I love Rush, but when you go to a Rush show, it's a bunch of dudes. You go to a Van Halen show back in the day, and it was 60% women. And that is that finding a way. Look, I like songs. I would much rather listen to a great song than just a great solo that goes on and on and on. Give me a song that pulls my heartstrings lyrically, melodically, emotionally, and then burn a solo, and then finish with the turnaround of the great song, and I'll be like, and you got the look, and you know how to perform, then you've got the whole package. So these guys with all these chops, I go, it's great, and I think probably a lot of you feel the same way. You watch it, and you go, that's incredible, but then you just you just think about something else. You're not thinking about the song. Last night I had my daughter, and we're in the living room, and sometimes I just like to turn on YouTube and listen to old songs. And I was listening to, there's a Billy Joel song called Sleeping with the Television On. And the lyrics, I was watching the lyrics, and I want to do like a lyrical analysis because we concentrate as guitar players, we concentrate so much on the licks and all that stuff. Yeah, Mike, you turn on the YouTube when you're sitting around drinking. That's what I used to do with my wife. And you put on, hey, check out this tune, and you got the videos going and all that. And I don't want to see some dude just ripping and shredding. I want to hear a song. But I will listen to the lyrics and the melody and analyze the lyrics, so Eddie played from Eddie did play from the groin. I'm more into songs. Are your guitars in different tunings? Not so much, Robert. Mostly everything's pretty much in standard tuning. Yeah, dude, Dirty Honey is good. I do like that band, and I think they've got some pretty good songs. Everyone here today has no doubt suffered from gear acquisition. Is there a guitar that you regret selling, trading? Dan, we all have guitars that I wish I didn't sell or trade. I had a Les Paul Custom I wish I still had. I mean, dude, every guitar that you let go, you eventually sometimes regret. Mike regrets selling his Marshall. I'm fortunate that I started poetry back when I started playing guitar. So I'm one of those kids who read the entire cassette cover, record sleeve. That's me. That's me, Funeral. I'm the same way. Regret selling my Marshall Silver Jubilee. I hear you, Mike. Yeah, that would be one. Yeah, I'm a guy who would read the lyrics. I'm really into lyrics. I try to listen to, there's not many songs that are so well written that they have a payoff. And that Billy Joel song, you will listen to the lyrics when you can understand. Yeah. So the thing is, that song has a payoff. What the chorus means, the first two verses, it means one thing, but he turns it around with just a slight twist. What's up, Eric? How you doing? He turns it around with a slight twist, so that last chorus, instead of talking about the girl in the song, it's talking about himself. That is called a payoff. And not many songs, basic BS songs, have that. Man, Billy Joel's one of those guys that he is a master songwriter. So Freddie's got regrets. We've all got regrets. A bit of musical genius. Did EVH really like his, frankly, replica guitars? Well, I guarantee he probably liked the checks. Some regret, just needed cash. Eric, I've been there. How do you think, being a musician, selling gear is a huge part of what we do. Buying gear on the road, finding deals. Oh, I can flip this down the road and make a few bucks. I would buy stuff on the road all the time like that. Woo! I'll be right back. Here we go. I get the old Ludens, the Halls going. I had one of the EVH Frankies that I bought right when I ordered it after Eddie passed. Yo, Max, what's happening? And man, that was a great guitar, but I just felt like I would never actually play it live. And so I traded it in. I forget what I got, but I traded that in and something else. Got something else. I think I got my Sir or something cool. Where's your favorite dirt pedal? Well, the Dude, version 1 by J Rocket. That is my only thing. If that's all I could have is one dirt pedal, that's what I would use. It's maybe got too much dirt if you're trying to do the edge of breakup thing, but it'll cover pretty much everything after that and beyond. So that's what I like. It will. The reason why I say version 1, it has the black knobs. That thing has got so much of a dB boost. You have to keep the volume knob around, that'd be 10 o'clock. And it'll still, it'll still sound like it'll just blast, it'll just cut through a mix. That's why they did another version. And the next version, they took the extreme volume boost out. That extreme volume boost is what I liked, because I always knew when I stepped on it that I was going to cut. It was not Sadie. It was the EVH one, the Relic one. Man, that was a really great guitar. That probably played better than any guitar I've got. But I just thought, man, I'm not going to use this, and I wanted something else. I forgot what I think maybe I got an SG or something. I went through an SG kick for a little while, and I still like SGs, but I just knew I would use an SG more than the Eddie Van Halen. What's the story in your Old Glory LED guitar poster? Well, it's an American flag, and a lot of people ask about that. That is something my wife got at Home Goods or something like that. Everybody asked about that thing, and I'll show you. So let's see. Everybody asked about this. Here it is. It's just a little thing like this, right? And let's see. Oh, this was a Kirkland's. It was a Kirkland's, and it was on sale for $20. It was listed for $39, and it's got battery, right there. I think it's like three AA, and it's a Kirkland's special. So maybe you can find one at Kirkland's. I've had this for many years, so I don't know if you can find one. The other day, I looked on Amazon to see if they had it, because I figured people keep asking me about it, and I thought that might be a good that might be something good to put in my Amazon link, but they didn't have it. What's the most you ever paid for a guitar? Probably $3,800, somewhere around there, something like that. Sold in 19 appeal for a chance to buy 76 Strat played and owned by Marley's lead guitar player from Groon. Keeper and my main axe to this day. Right on, Dan. So yeah, that's very cool, man. Very cool story. All right, we got 76 people. Let's get the thumbs up. What else you guys want to talk about? Played my friend's funeral yesterday. Very sad. Oh, funeral. I'm so sad. I'm so sorry, but I know you did a great job. He had to play for his friend's funeral, and I know that was tough, but I know that you did a good job. And I know that your friend was looking down. I'm very proud of you. How about Ken Tamplin being outed as using tracks? I saw that, Mike. So Ken Tamplin is this big vocal guru on YouTube. And let me tell you something about YouTube. This is amazing. So I watched a video with Rick Beato. And Rick was talking about how he can't get David Gilmour on his channel. But basically, he was making the point that YouTube is now the largest media delivering system of the world. More people watch, do you see that, Mike? More people watch YouTube than anything else. And, so the fact that David Gilmour's people are so old school that they're like, they'll book him on Jimmy Kimmel, but they won't book him on Rick Beato. Man, he needs new publicists. Hello, Big P. Glad to have you here. Billion views and all that. Yeah, you guys all watch it, because I was like, oh, he can't get David Gilmour. Is there a guitarist you met where you had to pinch yourself in awe? Man, when I was a little kid and I met Stanley Jordan, right when he first came out, that was incredible. Yeah, because to see Stanley Jordan back in the day with talk about two-handed tapping, Yeah, so you guys all say it. Mike said it. I primarily watch YouTube. Now I watch a few things on Netflix. My wife likes Netflix, but Mickey, what's happening? Uh, YouTube is a godsend for musicians. It is, and here's why. Because I can, like, when I'm going to do these interviews, I'm going to try to ask these questions that not everybody is asking. Just like the Rick Beato interview with Sting was just absolutely incredible. And I know Sting was probably like, oh my God, this guy actually knows what he's talking about. Because these puff pieces that the TV channels do, they don't ask the questions that are really, they're just nonsense. And man, he's like saying, Sting, so you use this Lydian scale on this, and then, and Sting was like, wow, like somebody, yeah, he loved it. He loved it. Yes, Brooklyn, thank you. Everybody click like. We've got 79 people. Now, I would like to have it one day where I fire up this live and we got 1,000 people watching. But man, I tell you what, I'm very thankful that I get so many people in here. Like Robert Fripp and Toya. Yeah, the Robert Fripp thing. Rick knows what he's talking about and how and what to ask. So that's what I want to aspire to do, is ask the questions that I know people will be curious about, but maybe not everybody has asked, and try to get those answers, because that is the beauty of YouTube. If you want to find this information, I'm gonna try to document every Sunset Strip character that I can dig up. Hey, Mickey, we might have 2 hours today. If we can get this thing popping, we're already almost at an hour. I'll keep going. If anybody out there wants to hit the super chat and throw in a few bucks and got a special question you want to ask, that always helps to keep me going. Mike's got till 3. The wife's shopping right now, so I'm here with you guys. We can keep this party going as long as you want. Bud, what's happening, brother? Just woke up, long work week, man. Man, that sounds like it, bro. If you just woke up, we got 72 people in here. Let's get the thumbs up. Let's get the thumbs up. Thank you, Eric. Thank you. Man, this is my job now. Awesome funeral. I'm so glad to have you here, bro, and best to you. 99, what's up? 99, now 99 has the wrench, and I've bestowed it on him with a velvet glove. We've got nothing but cool people in here. Every now and then, somebody comes in and starts messing with you guys, and I will not tolerate that. I'm not able to always... Robert's asking, do you like Firefly guitars? I like them just fine. I've only tried one, and I tried it, and I believe I sent it back. But I wanted to try one on my channel because I know the budget guitar thing is a huge thing. So there is a demo of me demoing a Firefly SG and comparing it to my SG Standard. And that's on my site under Gear Demos. But I had a guy reach out to me just this morning. I saw the email. You finally made it, 99. We're glad to have you here, and you can help out if things get out of hand. No pressure, but yeah. So a guy is going to send me a guitar from his guitar company. Now it's another budget guitar line, but he said, demo the guitar and just let us know your opinion. And I'm like, dude, send me something good. So I'm hoping that, I don't really need any guitars, but look, if you know anybody that's got a pedal or a guitar or something that you want to help them promote, I'm still at that, lower level, way down, as far as people. And, I'm ready to grow with somebody out there. And I told this guy, I said, look, my channel's growing, but it's growing every day. And we got really cool stuff coming up. So, anybody wants me to demo their guitar or do any of that stuff, I'm still doing those kind of videos as well. So let's hydrate. Yeah, I don't need a new guitar. And I tell you what, I've had the least amount of gear acquisition syndrome that I've ever had in my life coming down here to Florida, because I'm not finding, Ace, thank you so much. The woman that supported the Boys of the Sunset Ship would be an interesting topic. That would be a great topic. So Ace brought up the women that supported the bands. And we didn't have any famous groupies, in my time, on the Strip, or that hung around my band. But we had, girls that would help out. And, as far as helping out, that might mean, hey, what are you doing today? I'll take you to lunch. Ladobrook, thank you. Love your videos and wisdom. Music industry is rough. Thank you. I appreciate that. That's what I try to give the truth. So we're talking about women that help the bands. Supported the band's vid was great. Yeah, I did a whole video about that. Kind of saying, was there a gig where the crowd was either yay or not with it? Always. But as far as women, it always comes with a price. When nobody does anything for free. I never had somebody like just hand me a wad of money and go, just go do what you want with it. No strings. There were always strings. So if a girl was going to take you, and I had a girl one time, she just literally said, I said, hey man, my amps, we got a big show at the Whiskey on Friday, and my amp is toast. I don't know what I'm gonna do. And they go, I can help you out. Come on. And drive straight to Guitar Center. What do you want? How about the Marshall JCM 900? That was at the late, let's say it was about 92, somewhere around there. That was the new Marshall amp, and it had Nigel Tufnell in the commercials. And so she bought me a 50 watt JCM 900, and I used that a lot. That was a good amp for me because it had a clean channel and it had a decent gain channel. So yeah, I had moments like that. I had girls that would buy you a guitar and say, I just want to see you play this on stage. I had girls that bought pants. I had these black pants that had the cuts, like X style cuts in the side, so your leg was exposed on the side, who did not have a job, but he had a giant black book of women. Yes, we all had black books. There you go, Mike. Now, Mike, I once bought a JCM 800 on the Strip at midnight for $100, 100 watt JCM 800 head. But that'll be a whole nother story. I need to do that story on the channel. The $100 JCM 800. Man, if it weren't for the women, $100, Freddie. Do we want to even get into that right now? I'll save that one for the channel. Where's your Red Bull? I was just getting ready to get it, Mickey. You was reading my mind, bro. From a guy walking in to sell it to the store. My groupie girlfriend pay my parking ticket. Well, Big D, that's a good start. It takes a while to get to the point where they would, buy you something significant. But there's always strings attached. You learn not to take donations like that. Where do we donate, Brad Bad? Well, Mickey, you can click on the button where it says super or chat or the $ there, and you can donate that way. Or you can go to my email address, which is in the description of my channel. Click on the description, hit my email address, and you can PayPal me whatever. You can PayPal me 10 G's today if you want. If you want this channel to take off into the stratosphere, you guys can donate to my PayPal through that. Now, if you do the super chats here, yeah, they take a bunch of the money, but man, I don't, honestly, I'm happy with whatever. I appreciate you guys. You're kind of skinny, but you'll do while I was gigging. I didn't know if it was a compliment or an insult. We need a Temu link for the wig, bro. I dialed and styled. I've got the Amazon link. It's the 70s hippie disco wig, bro. If you want the gig, get the wig, bro. You got the style. Got the profile. You gotta be a wild child. Get you the wig, bro. Get you a wig. Or smash a guitar on stage like Nirvana used to. Yes, Beyond, I have smashed a guitar. The wig gets you that gig, baby. You want to be cool, fool? Click on the link. Don't be a dink. Quit snapping on your Weasel. Click that link. Quit pulling on your dirt, Weasel. Glue on your hair today, bro. Glue on that hair and be prepared for the women that are gonna storm the stage and grab you in your britches. Grab you by your dirt, Weasel. Make your Weasel go pop. Pop goes the Weasel because the Weasel go pop. Fills bring the thrills, but groovers pay the bills. I came pre-glued. Yes, indeed. We're just having a good time, man. We're at 57 minutes, but I don't have any plans on stopping. The wife's not home yet. She grabbed your dirt Weasel on stage. Bro, that is always, dude, I had a lesbian singer grab me in the crotch on stage one time. So I was playing, there was a lesbian bar in Nashville called the Lipstick Lounge, right? Yes, and it was called the Lipstick Lounge, right? And Rhonda and Jonda were these two lesbian twins that owned this bar, and it was in East Nashville. And they would do a gig where you're just on this corner stage, and I was elevated. The singers were on a level below us, and I'm up on this platform, and they were real bawdy. Like they would do like Tush and these bar kind of songs, and she's singing like one of those songs like Tush or something like that, and she reaches back and just grabs me right in the crotch and gives it a little, like that. Like they were just bawdy. It was a super fun gig. And, it was fun. It was, I think that was like a $75 gig or something. But yeah, I mean, it's like, you don't expect that. That, the guys weren't the most popular people in that bar. What's your most embarrassing moment on stage? Maybe the one time, fish hook. Yeah. Maybe the one time I miffed the chord changes when I was like 21 to Louie Louie in a bar, jamming with some bar band, and I was just hammered off my ass. And instead of playing, was it 1-4-5? I went 1-4 flat 7 A D G. So yeah, how did you get the Colt Ford gig? Roger, that was a phone call. I didn't have to audition for that gig. It was just like, hey man, we need you to sing these tunes and play guitar. And, how long would it take you to learn this? And I said, well, if I've got to sing this and play it at the same time, give me 2 weeks. And so they had made a decision. What the way it works on the road is that somebody makes a decision that the current lineup is going to go through some changes. They're gonna make some changes. Probably guys get burnt out, and it's the same reason why I left the gig. And people get burnt out, and it's like they decide, oh, we're going to do something different. Robert, I read chord charts very well, but single notes I have to work out ahead of time. So I got the call. They said, hey, you're the guy. We need you here. I'm going to send you the material. Boom. And all I had to do was go in for 2 days of rehearsal. We rehearsed the stuff and then straight out on the road. It doesn't always happen like that, but when you build up a reputation that you're going to, do what you say you're going to do, and you're going to learn the material and all that, it can happen. It can happen like that. They'll go, you're the guy. We just learn the songs, and they get off the bus. They call the next day, fire that guy. We go into rehearsal for 2 days, and then we're out on the road the third day. That's how that works. Woo! 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 Would you rather play your own gigs or do the sideman thing for artists? I'd rather do my own artist gigs. The sideman thing is cool. Some gigs are more fun than others. Some gigs are a lot of fun. Some gigs are too much fun. 99's got his Gatorade. That's all I really need to say about that. But I would rather be my own boss and play my own gigs and have who I want in the circle. When you're a sideman, you're put together with people, and some of those people you may like, and some of those people you may not like. But it doesn't matter if you like them or not. That's who you got to work with. So think about that. If I was my own boss, I'd have only badbrad certified badasses on the bus, and that's how that would work. Somebody talk about on the streets, love playing 6/9 chords. What is that? Big D. 6/9, isn't that this? Let me see. Let me clean up the. Now I'm not even thinking about it right now. So yeah, wouldn't that just be? Okay, so let me pull this. So. And it's something like that, or something like that, right? I think that's what he did. What's the coolest person we would know by name in the music business? Time to slap on some strings. Who's the coolest? I haven't met too many people that were uncool. So that would be my answer there. There's not that many people that are uncool. Everybody's usually pretty cool. Some people are standoffish more than anything. Some people, if you're an opening act, sometimes the headliner, the backing band, those people, they don't really have much to say to you. I was always try to be open and self-depreciating. And even though when I got on stage, I would try to take people's heads off. Off stage, I'm just dude, and trying to have a good time. You know what I'm saying? So. Excuse me while I play my guitar, sir. Excuse me. How's everybody doing out there? We've got 81 people in here. Let's get those likes up. I want to know, what do you guys want to talk about? Stop showing off. I'm not really showing off. I really was just got to make sure I can still play. So, yeah. Play us that song you learned in prison. Has anybody out there watched the new Netflix series Monsters? That is a fascinating period piece about the Lyle and Eric Menendez thing. Man, if anybody, it is creepy, dude. Favorite gig in California? Did you ever play Charvel Jackson as your main acts? Yes, I did. Big Bend Blues Experience. I had a Daphne Blue Jackson soloist. And that was a cool guitar. Why did they fall out of favor? Because of the pointy headstocks. And Charvel, for a while there, was not able to use those Fender headstocks. And when they had to do these weird shaped headstocks, and they started making just imports and the quality went down, at that period, Charvel waned. And then, what's up? Hey, Johnny, what's happening? At that time, Charvel waned. In the 90s thing with the grunge thing, Charvel and pointy guitars, that was not the thing anymore. Everybody, grunge was like, what did Kurt Cobain play? Mustangs and stuff like that. It went back to more of a vintage, pawn shop guitars like Kim Thale from Soundgarden, Charvet Jackson, Kramer Flying V. Those were all cool guitars. And man, vital to that sound. But once that shreddy guitar sound went out of business, then it wasn't cool anymore. Just like a vintage Stratocaster, except for Yngwie Malmsteen, you didn't see anybody on the strip playing just a Strat with 3 single coils. You just did not see that. I would use guitars with 2 singles and a hum, like this. And you didn't see many people doing that really, but we were doing stuff where I was doing some funk rhythms and stuff like that. So, I always wanted to have my Strat tones, but that was a thing. Yeah, this is a ridiculous guitar. I mean, look at the flame on the neck. It's just sick, bro. It's sick. Favorite gig in Nashville? I like playing the riverfront. Playing down at the riverfront on like either for CMT or CMA Fest or those were always cool. The old Third and Lindsley. Third and Lindsley is where the Time Jumpers play. I think that's every Monday night. But in the early days of Third and Lindsley, he used to rule the roost in that place. And it was just this little corner stage, and I would fill in for Reggie Wooten of the Wooten Brothers. And that was a great gig. Brad asked the bass player why flat wound strings cost 50 and round one cost about 20. Big D, why is that? That doesn't make any sense to me. But maybe the process of making flat wounds and flattening those things out, maybe that adds something to the manufacturing process. I don't know. I didn't realize they were that much. But maybe because flat wounds, once you put flat wounds on, you don't change them, right? You want that dead sound. Rocco Prestia from Tower of Power, he never changed his strings. James Jamerson never changed his strings. And my buddy, John Billings once broke one of the strings on Rocco Prestia's bass, and Rocco wanted to kill him because that was his strings. That was his tone. And once you put a new one on, it's totally thrown off. Do you know of any venues that are inclined to have cover band from out of town? I want to get Gwen and her band heard in other cities. Well, Bud, I would recommend, it's hard to get in the loop if you're not there. You could probably book some gigs there, but man, you almost got to live there if you're going to do that. You almost got to get the whole band there. Did you ever play the Reseda Country Club? Yes, I did. I did, Sean Lane. Reseda Country Club was a legendary place. And you know what was across the street from the Reseda Country Club? Was Lee Jackson Metaltronics. And Lee Jackson Metaltronics was an amp builder and mod guy. I never tried their amps. Do you still own that Marshall JCM 800? No, I do not, Robert. No, I think when I left California, I think I sold that to the pawn shop or something. Sean Lane. Yeah, it's not, I don't think Sean Lane is actually here, but somebody with that name is. Yes, so I did play the country club, but the country club had a problem. They got caught having underage drinkers in there. And so they lost their liquor license. So by the time I got to play the country club, yeah, Metaltronics, by the time I got to play the country club, it had become like an all ages club. And like, it was messed up. Then that place used to be huge and it would be packed full of the, Valley girls and metal dudes. That was a huge, really cool venue. But when I played there, man, it wasn't like a ton of people there. If you're a singer, you want to sing on my next album, well, I'll never get around to finishing because I'm too tired from working all the time at my regular gig. Do you activate the next single pickup on your EVH Strat? Well, I had the EVH Strat, but I didn't activate it. Brad, you ever play Phoenix? Yes, I'm sure that I have played Phoenix. I remember playing Tucson is that, Flagstaff is the one up on the hill. I remember Flagstaff because we got caught in a snowstorm in Flagstaff, Arizona. And that's a good story. Thanks for reminding me of that, because that was one for the books. Just help my boy load up all his gear. I'm getting too old for this. Corinzin, I hear you. You ever played Rafa? What is Rafa? I guess if I have to ask, then I don't know. 99 can sing on your record, Freddie. Why don't you get 99? I'm not a true singer. I just play one on TV. Blues is easy to play but hard to feel. Absolutely. And you can play blues as complex as you want to. You can play or you. You can play it like that too. So, hard to catch but easy to eat. It's hard to catch but easy to eat. Excuse me while I play some guitar, yeah. So, no religion or, yeah, please. Yeah, we just don't do religion or politics here, man. The world needs more music. We need more music, man. I know everybody's got opinions. If it were that easy, we'd all do it. And you could take it way further than I do it, Freddie. You could take it way further. I can just, do it. So Zato plays bass, band politics. Yeah, band politics is exactly what we talk about. And that's getting along with your drummer, or getting along with lead singers. Everyone here is to escape all of that. That is, you just summed it up. Need more kindness and care for fellow humanity. I second that. Thank you, Freddie. Thank you. The girlfriends, yikes. Yeah, let's talk about the girlfriends. You ever hear the update on Jane's addiction? Danelle, yes, I did. So I didn't shoot a video about this, but yeah, the Jane's addiction thing, man. I heard the roadie came out and told the behind the scenes story. Man, it is a sad story, and I guess he said in an interview that Perry Farrell assaulted Dave Navarro again backstage when Dave just went up to him like, "Dude, what's up?" And Perry like, man, that thing was a mess, dude. That is a mess. I don't know that band will ever see that band again. From night one of that tour, Perry Farrell, right in front of the Live Nation people, was threatening to not do the gig right from the gate. So because favorite Sunset Strip gig, it's got to be the Roxy. It's got to be the Roxy. The Roxy, I think, had the best sounding room, the coolest upstairs backstage room, and they would come up there with that bus tray full of ice and beer after the show. And that is my fondest memory. My fondest memory is, I think maybe it was my second Roxy show. Someone asked, "Hey, do we want to have a makeup girl?" And I was like, yeah, let's have we need a makeup girl backstage. And I just wanted, because I thought it'd be cool to have a girl backstage, So, and I was the virgin of the band, as far as I hadn't played the Sunset Strip a lot. I hadn't been on the scene. So they bring this girl backstage, and she sees me and she knows, "Oh, you're the new one. Yeah, let me work on you," And so she's putting on my eye makeup, and I'd never, had that done. And she's being so gentle and all this, and I'm like, this is awesome. I got this girl like putting eye makeup on me, and stuff. That was really the only time that I wore that on the Strip. We weren't like a huge like makeup band or anything like that, but for me it was just having an excuse to, be hanging with a chick backstage. But that's the deal with that. So we've got 85 people. Let's get the thumbs up. What's your biggest disaster on the Strip playing? Big P. You ever get the same hot tub treatment that Odin got in Decline too? We didn't get filmed, but yeah, I used to live in a tool shed next to this pool, and there was a hot tub and a pool in ground, both right next to the tool shed. And we would have parties after the show, and people in the hot tub, and you're sitting there, and I used to have girls that would massage my hands before the gig. I just put my hand out, and they'd sit there, and it's like, work on this. This is an important muscle if you're a guitar player. This muscle right here gets tight. So what LA band was most in control in performing, and which was most out of control? Oh, man, if you've watched any of my interviews with bands, if you were in a band, you didn't generally go and see a lot of the other bands. Now, I did see a lot of bands because I would go hang out in the bars. But I would say Life, Sex, and Death was the most in control, having that lead singer putting on that show, and the band was tight and everything. I would say out of control, you'd have to say it was Guns N' Roses, but I never saw Guns N' Roses on the Strip. I didn't even really realize what was going on until, they were already off the Strip. Yeah, Stanley, you would think they were out of control, but no, they knew exactly what they were doing. Those guys were smart. And Stanley is out in LA. He's been out in LA for a while, and he's been working on some new music. So that should be interesting. Woo! All right, we got 85 in here. Let's get the likes up, man. What do you guys want to? You want to keep going? We're going to go into. We're in overtime. We've been over an hour. I thank everybody for tuning in today. We're having a good time, right? We're hanging out, talking about music, and everything's cool. Everybody hit that like button, hit the subscribe button to the channel so you don't miss the notifications. Remember, tomorrow, huge interview. Thank you, SS. It's just sad that it's all gone now. The American fun. Well, it's not gone if we say it ain't gone. Play By the Window, and I'll help you out. I don't know what By the Window is. You turned me on to Life, Sex, and Death. Yes, funeral. Don't try to figure out what I do. Try to figure out what you do. Exactly. I don't know what By the Window is. Used to see Slash all messed up in front of the Hollywood Athletic Club back in the day. Why do they call it the Strip? Well, it's just short for Sunset Strip. So it's just like you'd call your buddy. People used to call me, Hindu back in the day, or Hendrix son. People would call me Hendrix son. What was your biggest band on the Sunset Strip out of all of them that you played in? Probably the pinnacle was when I was in Shock, because that band was already rolling, already headlining, had a horn section with a heavy metal band and a blonde singer, and first night on the Strip, and it's just the room's filled with girls, and headlining the Roxy is I think it was my second gig, but the first gig on the Strip, that had to be, it was the first one out of the gate. What was the biggest tragedy from the 80s? Robin Crosby is a huge tragedy, but man, really, there was so much tragedy and so many sad stories and people that disappeared. I got friends that I had back then. Randy Rhoads is a huge one. But man, there's a lot of unknown stories. There's friends that I've been trying to find out what happened to them for decades. And they're probably gone. They're probably gone. I knew some guys that were friends of mine, or girls from back in the day and stuff. And, they disappeared. And I wonder, man, you wonder what happened. We're all old now. If you're lucky to still be alive, you're old. So that's why this channel is so important, because I want to tell everybody's story. I want those people, maybe some of these, Kevin Dubrow, that's a huge one. They're only gone if we say they're gone. How is the Florida music scene? Roger, I have no idea how the Florida music scene, because I am so far removed from it right now. My music scene is right here in this room. And, so I don't know how it is, but from what 99 says, there's nothing in Jacksonville. I know there's some gigs in Tampa. I know St. Pete had some jams and stuff like that that would be kind of similar to what I was playing in Nashville, and some of the jam type funky kind of like gigs. There's a place called Ruby's Elixir, and they have some jam stuff down there, but man, I know it doesn't pay that well. Key West, I have not been down to. I want to make that drive. I want to take the family down to Key West one weekend and just do that drive. I just want to rent a convertible and go down there. That's the deal with that. I don't know if I'm gonna, do any gigs down here. I'm not planning on it right now, but I plan on building this channel so much that then I start getting calls to play. That's the reality of it. I think I'm getting on people's radars. Many guitars were lost to the Nashville floods. That is correct, Robert. There's so much. I know I jump around a lot on this, and it must be tough for the replay. No one's gonna call Zatochi. Oh, that hurts. Oh, bro. No one's gonna call, bro. Oh, no one's gonna call. Oh, dude. Look, man, I could go back to Nashville next weekend and be working in a week. That's the reality. But I'm doing something anytime. Dude, Someone could call. But yeah, no news is good news. I just, I don't want to do $200 gigs anymore, man. I don't want to do that. If I was in Nashville, and I would do gigs in Nashville sometimes that would pay at 125. And the reason why, Harry, I'm already there. I'm already there, Harry. I've made more in some months, just a couple of months, than on bad months in Nashville. Because I was primarily, by this time in my career, primarily just a weekend warrior. But I would make enough to keep the lights on and do all that. But I'm not making, tons of money. I'm having a bust. If you notice, dude, I don't put out one video a week. I put out at least one video a day. Sometimes I'll put out 2 videos a day. Sometimes I put out 3 videos a day. I literally know how much I've got to put out to make enough money to keep everything rolling. So that's what I'm doing right now, and I'm actually enjoying it, man. I'm actually really enjoying it. Kenny McGee from Juliet is there in Tennessee. Well, Sean, I'm in Tampa now. Dwight Yoakam hates cameras backstage. I would imagine that. I would imagine that, Dwight. I think, we would have rules. The Bad Brad Breakfast Club every morning. I could go, man. If something happened and I got spit back into Nashville, I could literally get back on, in the loop like that. I had a guy just reach out to me this past weekend saying, dude, did a gig, we missed you. And it was like in capital letters. Now, let me tell you something. I got an email this week, and anybody know who Tony Rombola is? Does anybody know who that is? Let me know in the comments. Tony Rombola. I'm getting emails because I let people know my description in the channel. Mickey, thank you. I got an email. Jay Sims, you are the winner today, sir. So I get this email, and I'm assuming it's him. It says, my name is Tony Rombola. The email address is like, and I get this email, and it says, I'm Tony Rombola. I'm the guitar player for Godsmack. I really enjoy your channel and your take on the music business and all this kind of stuff. And he says, I'm now I live in Florida. I'm on tour right now, and my drummer lives down in Florida too. And so, I'm like, dude, I'm the guitar player. And I said, dude, I replied back and I said, dude, I saw you guys open for Black Sabbath at an arena in Virginia, an outdoor arena. And man, that was an awesome show. And so I said, dude, I'd love to have you on the channel. So we'll see if I can get Tony on my show. Just do a little Zoom interview. Now, I think he's got some projects that he does on the side, a blues project I was reading about. And so maybe he's looking to do a little promotion of his side projects. And man, that's the deal, dude. YouTube is bigger than anything out there. My channel's not bigger than anything out there, but it's growing. And we're building this thing up one brick at a time. So Apocalyptic Blue Review. Yeah, that's it, Jay Sims. Dude. So I was like, I told my wife, I was like, dude, I just got the dude from Godsmack just totally emailed me, dude. And so I thought that was awesome, man. And I had another guy reach out to me, wants to send me a guitar this week. So, things are fit. Things are happening. Now, it's not a custom shop Les Paul, and it's not a Sir or something like that, but it's totally tubular because I'm totally like someone's sending me a guitar, man. So good things are afoot, man. Good things are afoot. And the channel is rocking. You guys are rocking with me. I really appreciate it. We've got 84 people in here. If you haven't hit the like button, hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so. Dude, free guitar, dude. Yeah, the guy was like, I'm going to send you a guitar. You can do whatever you want with it. You can smash it. You can trash it. I was like, okay. I'm like, on the one hand, I really kind of need another guitar, like a hole in the head. But one thing I can do is I can do a good demo of the guitar and let people hear it and let them decide for themselves. Look, I'm not going to ever tell somebody that, $100 guitar is the best, or a $200 guitar is the best guitar in the world. We all know it's not. But man, I've done gigs with $200 guitars, dude. I've done gigs with $129 guitars. So, I mean, he'll send it and we'll see how it is. Yeah, I could, I'm wondering, man, they have these giveaways, but man, YouTube has so many rules with the giveaways. It almost makes it like for a guy like me who's just lo-fi and doesn't, I don't do a whole lot of stuff. Thank you, Leslie. Thank you. I'm just having a good time. This channel is so lo-fi. I can carry my whole studio in my pocket, and my whole, setup is right here in this iPhone, so I don't know, doing a giveaway, it seems like YouTube's got so many hoops you've got to jump through, and you got to do this and do that, it just seems like it's prohibitive. Have to do giveaways live in chat. Is that how they do it? Just subscribe, cool channel. Thanks, Mike. Thank you. Yeah, it's all about rock and roll, man. It's all from a musician's perspective and a touring perspective too. The one thing I can add over some of the just straight news channels is I will only really comment or do a music news video if it's something I can really go, well, look, this is why this is happening. This is why, yeah, I don't know, man. I want to start giving away some of these things that come in. I had a guy that helped me, a guy that I know that I went to school with, ask a question, whoever answers first wins. Well, that's one foghorn, Bradhorn. Well, let me tell you, sir, I don't know if I can, I almost got to get in the zone for that there. I tell you there, sir. You can be better on guitar. This just in, you can be better on guitar. Well, obviously, we can all be better on guitar. We can all try to get better every day. And if I could just get this F, if I could just get that, I'm good. That's all I need to be able to do. So, yeah, man, of course. We can all be better on guitar, man. That's why we're here, right? But the reality is, man, news headline, okay, that's incredible. Wow. How long did it take you? Brooklyn Sound Garage. How long did it take you to figure that out? F was the hardest chord when I started. Yeah, it was the hardest chord. That's a hard chord for people, man. If you got to play it on acoustic a lot, yeah, your hands start cramping up still. In the meantime, perfection is the enemy of good. Jay Ergo, everybody say hello to the first guy to really show me how to play lead guitar. Yes, indeed. What do you miss most about LA? I would say the friendships. and the camaraderie and the being able to, when you're in a band, it's like the guy from Odin said, it's like being in a gang. And I miss that feeling of we four or we five are going to conquer the world. And you're sweating in that rehearsal. I used to really like being in a rehearsal room and just working on the show, working on your songs, and getting everything tight, and that whole process of doing that. And then, we would rehearse, and then we like, okay, now what do you want to do? Okay, well, let's go over to the house. I'll change my shirt, and then let's go. We'll go to FM station, and we'll go hang out and go have some beers, whatever. Stopping mid-song because his fretting hand cramped. Wow. Now see, right now I'm feeling cramps in this muscle right here. And dude, just playing with Victor Wooten, I understand you're all around playing. Thank you, brother. Do you prefer your custom strat or your Sir strat? Well, it depends what I'm trying to do, Ben. If I'm going on a Nashville session, and like, I'm not Tom Bukovac or anything like that. But if I, every now and then I would get called to go do something, somebody's project. It would usually be, a musician would have somebody, a songwriter or something, and bring us into the studio. And if I knew the guy wanted that vintage style thing, I wouldn't bring a Sir or anything modern like that into the studio. I would bring the custom shop Strat. I would bring... this telly, that's got the, it's got that's tuned, or whatever. Or I'd tune this to standard and put 6 strings on it. And I would bring a Les Paul, and I would bring, just the vintage kind of classics. And that's what I would take to a Nashville session. Hopefully he's not a troll and likes the channel. Well, I hope so, Crimson. Do they have trolls that get memberships? Is this, man, I'm so new to this YouTube thing. What can a troll do if he has a membership? Thank you, Brooklyn. Thank you. Yes, this is a really cool, it's super light. It's swamp ash. Yeah, this thing is killer, dude. And let me see if I can swap this out. I got it tuned to the Keith Richards tuning. And I've kind of got more of a high gain. Let me see. Let's dial this back a little bit. So. So that's that. This is like I guess it's blonde. Of course, it's got that, kind of fake custom shop relicing and stuff like that. But it's got, it's a cool guitar. Let's see, what did Jay say? Brad, please post your Sweetwater and Amazon links again so I don't have to hunt for them. I will do that, Jay. Almost all the daily videos that come out all have those Sweetwater and Amazon links, but I'll make sure you have those, bro. So here's the cool thing about the Keith Richards tuning, right? So that's a D, that B, no, right? And then G, D, is that A? Or is that D? I think that's D. Let's see. No, so that's A, right? I don't know. But if you do the Chuck Berry lick with that D to that E tuned down the D. So it gives that typical Chuck Berry thing a totally different sound, which makes it really, really cool. So yeah, I love this guitar, man. G tuning, low to high. There we go. Thank you, Jay. Yeah, that's what this is tuned to. This is still the same strings and setup I had on this when I did a Stones tribute act, a one-off that I did. Yeah, they do, Brooklyn. They do. Thank you, everybody. We're 101 minutes in. This is my macabre. But like somebody was asking, what would you take to a Nashville session? Didn't sound like She Talks to Angels. Yeah, well, that's that same, the Black Crowes, let's face it. They got all that stuff from the Stones. But yeah, I lost my switch tip. There we go. We've got a little switch tip right here. See this? This is, you can't lose that. You might need that. Oh, did I break it? Oh, dear Lord. I think it might be toast. No, it's on there. Good. Mick Taylor, Time Waits for No One. Yeah, that is an incredible. So thank you very much, 99. I really appreciate it. Save money on that one, missing string. Yeah, exactly. You save money on that. That's the beauty of it. Here's the thing, man. You don't need new strings to get the Keith Richards sound. Now check it out. So let's say, what is it? And I don't want to get demonetized, but you got Jimmy Page must have said, let me try this Keith Richards thing here for a minute. So yeah, I don't want to get demonetized. Hopefully that won't happen. But man, I'm just thankful that everybody's here today. I want everybody to tune in to the interview. Missing first D. Yes, it is. Keith wrote the best riffs. He absolutely did. Jeff Beck played a telly like this too. I think he did have a similar kind of guitar. Man, I want to thank everybody for tuning in today. I want to thank you so much. Do you want me to continue, or do we fold for the day? It sounds exactly like Keith Richards. It's definitely got that vibe. Let's see what else we got here. What are we doing? I'll show everybody once again the good folks at Geiger that sent me this little tremolo bridge. And this is a cool little thing. If you've got a Les Paul and you want to get that Bigsby thing, this thing is cool. Tales of CD level. How do you feel about people giving a shout out for their band? I don't mind if they do it on this channel. If you want to do it now, play through a friggin' pod, go. 16 minutes left, so you can make it. I can make 16 more minutes maybe for you, Mike. I can definitely do that. So anyway, we're just having a good time. I'm hydrating a little bit, having a little Red Bull, having a good time. It's been a chill Saturday, but thank you so much. Corinson, this is more like it's more like a Bigsby as far as what you can do with it. It's got more of that waver to it. So I wouldn't use it for dive bombs. You definitely have tuning issues if you did that. But for doing the Bigsby thing, man, I think it probably works better than a Bigsby, and it's certainly a lot easier to install. So yeah, I did that demo. That demo's on my, I guess it's kind of floating. It's just a spring on an arm, and the spring rocks back and forth and moves the bridge plate. But I find it works really good. Ever play the Muse Nashville? Where is the Muse? Remind me of that. This live stream was a welcome surprise for a lazy, rainy Saturday. Thank you, Brooklyn. We much appreciate it. What's your approach set up when you absolutely positively have to play at lower level on gigs that's not just cocktail jazz? It's the same approach that I would do on a cocktail jazz kit. Small amp, low volume, trying to be able to have sustain. You're never going to get a tube amp into the sweet spot at super low volumes. So you're going to have to use drive pedals that give you enough gain at a quiet volume. So maybe a tube screamer is not enough gain to do that. It just depends. Did you put that piece of rubber under the trem bridge? No, I did not. I did not. Played there back in 27 with plain white tees. Very cool. It's clearing up here. All right. Mike, that's good to hear, man. Hope everybody's staying safe out there. You could stack some drives because, you know, like I said, you can't get the amp in the sweet spot. They're trying to make you play quiet. Try something like a Princeton. Princeton is a good-sized amp for those small gigs, and you could kind of crank that up a little bit and get a little bit of overdrive. That might be something to do. Yeah, Jacksonville's cool. Florida seems cool today. Man, you know, we're just really thankful that, you know, I know a lot of people are struggling out there. So Jay uses exotic SP1 compressor to maintain some body to the tone when I have to play quietly. Yeah, compressor can help, and that can definitely give you more sustain, because that's the one thing you miss when you can't get your amp, you know, cooking, is the sustain. You know, I don't use compressors anymore, more from the fact that it was just another thing I'd have to add to my pedal board. And I had a very small setup that I used for the majority of my live gigs. I need to pull my pedal board out and do a whole video on that, because, man, I used the same. For the first time in a lot of years, I found a setup that I liked, and I didn't feel like I needed to change pedals. I changed once, I changed one pedal, and the rest of the time, and my pedal, every pedal on the board is black. How do you think I pulled that off? Getting pedals that I liked, and I didn't feel like I needed to change it, and it was completely stealth because every pedal on the board was black. So not if you have the right power supply and signal chain. Woo! 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 How's everybody doing out there? We got 70 in here. We're still cooking. We got 88 likes. Yep, don't forget to diddle that like button. Thank you. Until my legs shake. Yeah, that was to Mike. Oh, okay, Freddie. Woo! All right. So we're having fun, right? We're hanging out. We're kicking some licks. You know, we're having some fun. Yeah, compressor on my bass signal. Yeah, bass players seem to like compressors a lot. Ever been to Musonia? No, Roger. But I am going to do some research on Musonia. And I know that's been closed, but I've watched some of the footage. Musonia is the music school that was run by Randy Rhoads' mom. And man, the stories that those walls could tell. Hello, Johnny. Johnny Bean, what's up, brother? 99, you won't be able to make it next Saturday. No problem, brother. You have a good time. Maybe Mike will fill in for you that day or something. So, yeah, no problem, 99. Like, 99 and Mike, those guys are like the coolest dudes, man, that tune in. If you see my channel every morning at 8 a.m., I upload a new video, and missing one day out of 6, not bad, 99. Yeah, I don't expect anybody to be there every day, but I do worry about you guys. Thank you, Freddie. Yeah, this thing sounds killer. This is a super sweet guitar, man. It just is. So, yeah, man. What do you guys? Shoot me some other questions. I know I missed some stuff. Would you ever rock a Kemper amp? I owned a Kemper amp for about 10 years. Thank you. Yeah, gritty to clean. So with the cool thing about this Sir guitar, it's a SSH, and I don't change anything. I don't kick any overdrives in. And you got this beautiful clean tone. Right? Somebody asked for Stray Cat. That's all I know. I love Brian Setzer, and I would listen to stuff, but I never sat down and learned a lot of people's playing, note for note. But, with this kind of guitar, all you got to do, you got your clean tone, and then all you got to do is kick it into that bridge pickup. Right? And it's instantly... Right? All you got to do is do that. It's all you got to do, and you got grind. So it's really, it's got a lot of tones. Now that's that position. What is that? Position 2? Thoughts on the new Jack White Fender Panoverb amp? Man, I would have to try that thing out. I don't know, man. I didn't really, that whole pawn shop kind of gritty tweed kind of tone, that's not really what I go for. You can hear what I really like is that super sweet. I like that super sweet clean, and I like to be able to, switch it over. Click it over to that. Thank you, Big D. Do you set up your own guitars? I tried to, Robert. I tried to. I will try things like adjusting the height of these saddles, on a strap. A lot of times you can get your action where you want to with that. I'm not so great with the truss rod thing. Guy says at the end, not bad over Minor Swing Yango. Almost the same tune. Yeah, a gypsy jazz style would work great with that. I feel like Brian Setzer definitely has some jazz influence in his playing. You know, I do my own setups and refrets. Right on, Funeral. 99's got a black Ibanez that I fiddle around with. I can play chords, but cannot switch between them. Well, you got to work on that. You got a silver sparkler Strat from the pawn shop I used to work at. That place was a honey hole. There you go. I bet it was, man. Pawn shops can have some deals, especially when you work there, because you catch them before they come out the door. That's what I used to do in LA. You'd see something coming out, and you'd say, hey, this thing's coming out next week. If the guy doesn't come in, can I have first dibs at it? And they used to give us credit. We could take something on credit and like say, okay, I'm gonna give you 100 out of my paycheck this week. We'll put it down on this. And sometimes they'd let you take it out the door and you'd make payments on it. And other times they'd go, okay, well, we'll take 100 on this now, and when it's paid off, you can take it home. So, back then, that's how we would, get stuff out of the pawn shop, and you'd have first dibs at whatever was coming in. But man, I didn't, and this was before, vintage guitars were not out of control, but this was the 80s. This was like 87. And I didn't see a lot of vintage Strats or 59 Les Pauls or anything like that come in. I didn't even see a Jazzmaster come in. What came in? Well, I did see a bunch of 70 Strats, and I bought one of those anniversary Strats, the silver ones that says like anniversary on the side. And I thought, oh, this is a cool guitar. And somebody had taken like one of those little round Coke mirrors and had stuck that on the guitar. And like it was their little, whatever. And that guitar played and sounded so bad. It was unusable. And I think, I don't know if I sold that or I took it back to the pawn shop. I don't remember what I did with it. Yeah, they put that little mirror on there, and I'm like, I didn't even really realize what it was for at the time. I just thought, why did they? And they stuck it on there, so when I pulled the mirror off, of course, it took a big circle. Yeah, they were heavy as hell, and they're semi-attainable, Corinzin, but I've found and played very few that I really liked the feel of. They tend to be very heavy, and there are some good ones out there. All right, Mia and Lisa are here. Hello, welcome. Say hello to the ladies. The ladies are here. How you guys doing? Are you guys finding anything out shopping? For live shows, you are finding deals. Very cool. For live shows, a 57, and I'm happy. I don't want to lowball, so they would reject the offer and contact after work. Oh, you're slick. Build-A-Bear got you. Oh, I bet it did. Ibanez Laney. No, that's slick. We would never do moves like that. I wasn't that slick back then. Frankly, there was never anything really vintage. The only thing that I wish that I bought was there was a Cherry Sunburst Dean Flying V that was from the original Deans, one of the hand-built ones. Man, this thing came in and it was destroyed. I mean, rode hard and put up wet. But that was a really cool guitar, and I wish, dude, I probably could have gotten that for $300. It came in with no strings. It was all dinged and dented up. I don't think it had a case. Man, you could tell that guitar had mojo. Leslie, say hello, everybody. So that's a guitar I wish I'd have bought in the 80s in the pawn shop. That was one that got away. Favorite pawn shop guitar? that I ever bought in a pawn shop. The greatest purchase I ever bought in my pawn shop was the BB King amp that me and my dad bought. That was the greatest purchase, and I sold that. I sold that at Carter Vintage. I've still got an amp. I've got a Fender Super Reverb with a road case. It's got stickers, a whole bunch of stuff that I used on the road, I used in the studio, and that is available at Carter Vintage. You can see if you put in Carter Vintage and you search for a Super Reverb, you'll see. Thank you, Jay. Thank you for dropping in. If you do a search on Carter Vintage for a Super Reverb, you'll see in the description it'll say, owned by Bad Brad at the end, or Brad, whatever at the end. And we've lowered the price on that. I don't still have my first guitar. Thank you, Bob. Thank you. Yeah, I don't still have it. I had, the first guitar was like a Yamaha classical acoustic. And I think it probably got traded in on something else. Probably got traded in on something else at one point in time. All right, we've been on here is 120 minutes. Does that mean 2 hours? Is that how long we've been going today? Next live, Robert, could be tomorrow, depending on the family schedule. But the reality is, I don't know. So I might go live tomorrow. Thank you, Big Ben. But Al Ibanez, you can always watch the replay. And yeah, tomorrow, like I said, I don't have a set time on Sundays. I just, if the family if there's a lull in, but the 8 a.m. interview tomorrow, it will go live tomorrow at 8 a.m. Join us for the chat. It's an hour long, a little bit over an hour. And it's a really cool interview with Van Halen Rising author Greg Renoff. Thank you, Mike, for tuning in. I think I'm going to shut it down. More shock stories. Roger, more shock stories are coming. I'm going to have to get more. And I need to get some more of those shock band members and get them to come out from the shadows and tell some of their stories. But yeah, thank you, guys. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Thank you, Ryan. Thank you, everyone. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. I will see you guys tomorrow for the big interview. Thank you so much for tuning in. And everybody, take care.